What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. This is a video I've been waiting to do. Tottenham,
come on,
2, Arsenal 1, North London is white. This is the player rating. Sim, first of all, how are you feeling after yesterday?
man, I'm just so happy that we got one over on them. Honestly, they were talking it all big and they're giving it all that. Exactly. Too much talk. Classic Arsenal. They never ever learn, do they? They never ever learn. They always talk too much before the game. They always celebrate too early. And although it wasn't a perfect display from Spurs, it wasn't the perfect win by any or performance by any stretch. It's just something to smile about after a very, very tough season. It's something to celebrate. And although it's been a really, really slog of a season and so many downs, it's just something to smile about.
Definitely. Let's get straight into it, and let's start off with Captain Hugo Lloris, who gave him a 7. I thought the standout moment of the match from him was that save from Aubameyang. Absolutely. I mean, when you first saw the save, you didn't actually think it was a brilliant save, but then on the replay, you really saw, Aubameyang, it was a brilliant curling effort from the left-hand side of the box. But what a save it was from Hugo Lloris. I mean, he made a couple of saves, but all in all, it was a pretty quiet day for Hugo Lloris.
Apart from that save, he didn't have too much else to do. Arsenal got on behind a couple of times, but they didn't threaten that much. He couldn't really do much with Lacazette's goal. I thought it was just a really special strike into the top corner. Yeah. He didn't have a chance with that. But yeah, can you look? Lloris has been great since the restart, and I think low key he's had a pretty good season even before the restart. I know he had that moment against Brighton and he had that mistake against Southampton, but other than that, he's been pretty good. And I think we did miss him a bit when he was out injured. And I think ever since he's come back from injury and definitely since the restart, he's been solid. Made some really important saves, some really big saves at key moments. And I think he's got his mojo back a bit, Hugo. And, backing onto that amazing save he made last week against Bournemouth against Wilson in the last minute. Another big save yesterday in the North London derby. I think he's turning in some good captain's performances.
Definitely. Let's move on to Serge Aurier. We gave him a 4. Probably our worst player on the day. I thought it was for Serge. I thought every single Arsenal attack came down his side. And I thought that their goal, Lacazette's goal, albeit it was a banger and you couldn't really stop that, it was him that gave away and made the mistake leading up to the goal. I felt Aubameyang got in behind him quite a few times, and he got booked quite early as well, which kind of stifled his performance.
Yeah, I think he brought a lot of aggression and a lot of energy to the game. I thought a lot of times he was winning a lot of aerial battles, but I thought, especially for the goal, he was just overdoing it a bit. Rushing into challenges, over poor first touches, overhitting passes and things. There are a few moments when you just got your heart in your mouth. You think he's going to lose it again in your own defensive third. You go, oh no, not Serge. But we just about got away with it. It's no coincidence that the best chances Arsenal had came down Serge Aurier's side. And you saw it every time. Both Aubameyang's chances came down his side. They clearly targeted that section. And also, I feel like he didn't get his forward as much as he usually does, although he got forward a few times. But when he did get forward, again, quality wasn't really there from Serge. So a bit of a, I agree. He probably was our worst player on the day.
Yeah. Which moves us on to Ben Davies. We gave him a 6. Uncharacteristically, with that rocket shot from 30 yards,
Ben Davies
cannoned off the bar or the post. Also, with Ben Davies, a lot of our players picked up quite early bookings, which kind of I thought stifled them towards the end. But I don't think it was the case for Davies, because I thought he was poor in the first half, but grew into the game in the second half. And I think Pepe's still in his back pocket right now.
Yeah, 100%. He'll be. Pepe doesn't know what to do with himself at the moment. He can't get out of the pocket. But I think Ben Davies. I thought it was a solid game. I thought a few moments. I was a bit frustrated with him because he gave a few loose passes into the Arsenal midfield.
Distribution wasn't that great.
But I thought defensively really solid. I thought he was aggressive as well. The amount of times he was getting tight to Pepe, he was getting aggressive. Didn't let Pepe turn on the ball. It was good to see, and I think he's played every game, hasn't he, since the restart, and it's been a lot of hard work for him. But I thought he did. It was a solid game from him. Really solid defensive display from him. He didn't have too much to do going forward. It didn't really help Lucas that much on the overlap or anything. Lucas had to do a lot of the work by himself. But I think that was part of the game plan: sit deep and just hope for a counter in it. And I think Davies is a big part of that.
Definitely. Let's move on to Davinson Sanchez. We gave him an 8. One of the players that was rested or hasn't played in the he hasn't played in the last couple of games, has he, Sim? But I thought he looks. I think he looked composed throughout, but there was not much. I think he made some nice interceptions, and I think late on he was really, really important and really earned his money late in the game. But not much else to note of Davinson, I thought.
Solid. Look, Lacazette, apart from his goal, which Sanchez couldn't do much about, I thought he was kept very quiet by Sanchez and Toby, and I thought Sanchez mopping up a lot of good clearances, no mistakes, which is the crucial thing.
Composure was the key.
Yeah, composure. The thing is, in this kind of game, he didn't really need, because I always criticize him here for his on-the-ball ability. But this kind of game, every time he got the ball, he was just hoofing it along anyway. So he didn't need really to have that much composure on the ball. He just had to hook it clear a lot of the time. And I thought he complemented Toby pretty well. And
I think they work really well together.
Oh, well, they've got a growing partnership, don't they? Sanchez and Toby. They've started quite a few times together, especially a lot last season as well. So hopefully that's a partnership that can grow a lot. Hopefully Sanchez can learn a lot from Toby. I thought he was fine. Yeah, absolutely solid. Rock solid.
All right. Moving on to his defensive partner, Toby Alderwiereld. We gave him a 9. And you know what? Toby... I don't think we've been calling for Toby to come back into the side, but since he has come back into the side, it's been a breath of fresh air. He's brought that calming presence to defence. We've been waxing lyrical about him the last couple of games, but this game was a completely different story. I thought he was absolutely sensational, defended well, scored the winning goal, obviously, from Son's corner. I thought nothing got past him pretty much the whole day. I thought there was one little moment, I think it was early on in the second half, where he kind of did a nice recovery tackle, but it looked a bit all over the place from Toby. But apart from that, I thought he was spot on.
Yeah, I think that was the moment that led to. I think it led to Aubameyang hitting the bar at that moment.
Yeah, it did.
He looked a bit leggy, but I think Toby. It wasn't just that. It wasn't just his defensive play, which is pretty fantastic, and it wasn't just him scoring the winner with a great header. I thought the Toby pings were most of the time on point. He was finding men, which was so vital in this kind of play because a lot of our tactics revolved around Toby hitting a ball over the top and us either fighting for second balls or him hitting an accurate pass to Kane or to Aurier overlapping or to Son, and he was finding his man a number of times, and that is so important, and it's such a big part of our game. I thought again, as you say, he was real calming presence in the back four. I thought he was absolutely brilliant throughout most of the 90 minutes, and I think he's really warranted his place back in the squad. Clearly, I think he felt like he had a point to prove that, because he was dropped for the first few games of restart, but he really is proving that point that he is our best centre back, and we were wrong to drop him in the first place. And we've only conceded 1 goal since he's come back in the team. Now, as Lacazette won the strike yesterday, so. Good performance from him. Really good to see him back to form as well.
Definitely. Moves us on to Moussa Sissoko. We gave him a 6. Played on the right-hand side of the midfield. I gave him a 6, but I actually thought he did such an important role for the team yesterday. Kieran Tierney, a lot of Arsenal fans were talking him up a lot before this game, talking about, he's our best player this, he's our best player that. But Moussa Sissoko, he had one job the whole game, and that was to keep him quiet. And that is exactly what he did. Jose Mourinho was spot on with Lucas Moura and Moussa Sissoko's positional sense. Apart from that, he was playing about 3 positions the whole game: right back, right midfield, centre mid. He was everywhere. I know his quality at the end of it all was a bit poor. His passing, was led astray. But, apart from that, he did the job for the team superbly. And Kieran Tierney going off and, not causing Tottenham too many problems are all down to Moussa Sissoko.
he helped Aurier a lot on the right-hand side, and Aurier needed that help because with Aubameyang, in and around the vicinity, with Tierney with his delivery, you've got to be able to have a players blocking them off and not making it easy for them. And Sissoko, I thought, expanded so much energy throughout the game. As you said, he around that side of the pitch, he just covered every blade of grass, and he used his physicality a lot. He used his pace. And he did a great defensive job for the team. Going the other way, well, another story, as always, in Moussa. It wasn't so good. Anytime he got to the final third a few times, and what didn't show any quality, seemed to panic. He couldn't really find anyone, and that's something he's always going to have to work on, Moussa. But I thought the role he did for the team, it's like what Matuidi does for France sometimes when he plays on the wing, but like as a defensive winger. I think Sissoko is very good at that role. I think he does this very selfless role, and I think he did yesterday. Was a very good performance again from him. I was very happy with him.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Moving on to Harry Winks, we gave him a 7. Showed a lot of passion and desire, Harry Winks, I thought, playing in a kind of defensive midfield, holding midfield role. Just in front of the back four. He worked really hard. He got plenty of challenges in, but again, I thought his distribution was a bit poor, but I thought the job he did for the team again was sensational.
Yeah, I think it was a very tough role for him playing in a double pivot in a 4-4-2. He got a bit of help from Sissoko on that right hand side, but I thought it was an all action display from Winks. I thought he did well. He didn't need to get forward. He just sat deep and he allowed Lo Celso to get forward when he could.
He did what was asked for him very well.
Yeah, and he was a bit lucky not to get sent off, I think, in my opinion.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit lucky, probably very lucky.
I think he did about 5 fouls.
Yeah, he did a few challenges probably worthy of the yellow card. And I remember if you watched the stream, we both thought he was off when he got that yellow card. We were certain because we all definitely thought he was 100% on the yellow. But it turned out he wasn't on the yellow, so I was very lucky. But I thought he wore his heart on his sleeve. He knows what the derby means. This guy's born and bred. He bleeds Tottenham. He bleeds blue and white. And you saw that yesterday. He did not want to be on the losing side yesterday. 100%. He did everything in his power, and I thought he put in a good battling performance against two centre mids, especially Ceballos, who he was running the show at times. He had to be careful. Harry Winks, and I thought Ceballos, however good he was, didn't really threaten too much.
I would feel about the Ceballos-Winks matchup. I felt that Ceballos probably did have the better of it, but I think Winks, he stopped him a lot by fouling. I think a lot of the fouls was just on Ceballos, Winks' fouls. So he did well in stopping him. I think on another day he could have got sent off for it.
Yeah, but think about Ceballos. How many times he was in like dangerous positions and stuff, or how many times he had time on the ball. But how many chances did he actually create? What did he actually do? Not much.
Not much.
So I think Harry Winks has to take some of the credit for that.
Let's move on to Giovani Lo Celso. We gave him a 6. I thought his first half display was interesting because he was playing, that Argentinian. He had that Argentinian bite to his game. He was putting in some nice challenges. He was really aggressive to the Arsenal midfield, but he got booked quite early. And I felt after that booking kind of took away that bite from his game. So I thought in the second half, he kind of faded a bit out of the game.
I thought going forward, I thought a few times he was setting us up on counter-attacks with really good balls into the channels with Lucas Moura running in behind and Heung Min Son, and he was a good avenue for our counter-attacks, Giovani Lo Celso. But he's got a nasty side to him, and I love it. I absolutely love it because you can see that he's not just a player who's going to let people run past him. He's not who's going to pull out challenges or anything like that. This guy has some physicality about him, and he's in that sense he's everything Eriksen wasn't in that sense. He's got that bite to him which Eriksen didn't have, and what Eriksen had in creativity, he has in physicality.
Exactly. There'll be no pulling out of 50-50s with Giovani Lo Celso. No,
and I think Xhaka didn't have the best of games yesterday. I think Lo Celso shackled him pretty well for the most part. And I think Lo Celso, I think he did a solid job. Again, not his natural position in a two-man midfield in a 4-4-2. Very difficult for him. But I think he managed it well. I think he did manage it well. I don't think it's his naturally best position, but I would like to see how he does going forward.
Yeah. Which moves us on to Lucas Moura. We gave him an 8. I thought Lucas Moura was absolutely sensational in the derby. You know, in the first 30 seconds of the game, we'd already done more than we did the whole of the Bournemouth game. Got that shot on target from Lucas Moura, which, you know, he could have done better with maybe. But, you know, his positional sense in this game, he was pretty much playing as we pretty much had Davies and him both at left back. You know,
He was
Mourinho put two wingers on the flanks in Lucas Moura and Sissoko, but they were both playing as pretty much fullbacks as well. And he did such a great defensive role for the team, Lucas Moura, winning the ball back countless amount of times. And not only did he win the ball back, but he was starting attacks, beating men, and just an all-action display from Lucas Moura. And, you know, he was adding some nice passes at the end of his runs this time as well.
Yeah, really good display from Lucas. I was very, very happy with how he performed. We never doubt his work rate, but I think he took it to another level against Arsenal. He literally used every single ounce of energy he had in that little body of his. He was running up and down that wing all day long, and it was a tough job for him. It was a real tough ask on that left-hand side to help out with Bellerin, help out with Pepe, on Davies. How many ball recoveries he had? 4, 5, 6 ball recoveries for a winger. That's exceptional. And as you say, not only that, the balls he was playing in behind to Harry Kane, some of them were absolutely pinpoint, fantastic through balls, lob crosses. He actually had quality on the end of it. And it's just a shame he couldn't really be a massive threat in terms of actually scoring a goal himself. But I thought the job he did for the team was second to none in yesterday. Absolutely fantastic from him.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you said, the job he did for the team was just another level, because, you know, that is not really his role, ultimately a defensive performance.
Yeah, and I thought he did fantastic. Yeah,
he did. Let's move on to Heung Min Son. We gave him an 8. Goal, assist, you know, capitalizing on that brilliant pass, or brilliant assist, shall I say, from what's his name, Kolasinac. Absolute brilliant assist for Son's goal. He took it really well. Nice little dink over the keeper. Lovely corner for Toby Alderwiereld to header in. And I thought he was causing the Arsenal defence problems all evening. You know, it was no surprise Jose Mourinho. Well, you know, it was a surprise the tactics Jose Mourinho performed, but you could see why they did it. You know, Kane and Son up there as two up top to cause defenders like Mustafi, Kolasinac and David Luiz problems, because we all know if you put those Arsenal defenders under a bit of pressure, they're going to make mistakes, and that's exactly what happened.
This role 100% suits Heung Min Son 10 times more than the role that Jose had him playing before suits him. Him being in the centre, and being in positions where he can hurt the opposition, where he can get shots off, where he can press from the front, instead of being bogged down with having to track back all the time. I'd much rather have Lucas Moura in those positions defensively than have Son there and have Son's attacking threat blunted. 100%. I think we've seen that now. I think hopefully Jose can continue with Son through the centre, partnering Harry Kane. I think it's a lot more fruitful for him. And on the counter-attack, especially when we were leading, he was our biggest threat. How many times did Son break the lines on the counter near the end of the game and nearly wrap things up with the third goal? He'll probably be annoyed that he didn't finish the game off or find Harry Kane to finish the game off a few times later on. But I think for sure he's more at home in pressing from the front instead of tracking back at the fullbacks all the time. And I think this is a lot better for him, 100%. And I hope Jose continues with it.
Definitely. And last but not least in the starting 11, it's Harry Kane, and we gave him an 8. I thought he was very unlucky not to score. Probably should have slotted that attempted lob in the first half. Maybe go under him, or a better lob, what have you. But apart from that, I thought Harry Kane was absolutely sensational. You know, it was that all-action display from Harry Kane, which we haven't seen in a while, taking shots from 30 yards, closing the opposition down from the front. I just thought he did everything and left everything on the pitch. And especially in that last 10 minutes when we were could have got that third goal, I thought he was really vital to the team.
He was a leader. He was a Captain Marvel yesterday. It reminded me of the old kind of Harry Kane performances we got accustomed to, a couple of years ago, instead of the ones where he's not moving around much and he just he's a kind of a penalty box predator. He definitely wasn't that yesterday. He was all over the place, defending from the front. I was so happy with how he played. And yeah, as you say, he was so much more involved in the game. 5 shots, I think, in total. He'll be disappointed with himself. He didn't get on the score sheet. When he came deep as well, I thought he did a good job. I thought he made a few ball recoveries. He was making tackles. I think he was setting us up on counter attacks as well. He was finding Son and Lucas on runs. And he would just be disappointed that he couldn't get on the score sheet. That's the only blot on the book for Harry Kane. Otherwise, he probably would be man of the match. But I think Harry Kane was a great display, really, as well on up front on his own. A few times he was beating players as well, dribbling past players and getting shots off, like Mustafi, getting in behind him, and especially late on. So I think he'll be disappointed he's not on the score sheet, but I think he'll just be happy with the win, and I think we got to be happy with his performance.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a bit of the Harry Kane of old. 3 subs came on, probably not enough time to rate them, but we can make a few comments. Steven Bergwijn, Ollie Skip, and Eric Lamela. With Ollie Skip, I thought it was great for him to come on, and I felt he got involved straight away with his defensive display. But the other 2 probably didn't have enough time, did they?
Yeah, well, I think Bergwijn came on before Skip, actually. I think
he did, but I just wanted to mention Skip just because it was his first North London derby. Really.
And I think he put in a few crunching challenges and got involved a bit, got stuck in once he came on. I think Bergwijn was a decent threat on the break as well. I think apparently he created 2 chances in 9 minutes. I read somewhere in his time on the pitch. So I think you got to say he used his balls, his time on the ball effectively. I think he'll be happy with that. And Lamela only came on for stoppage time, but I think he got a couple of fouls in, so that was his job.
Definitely. And let's talk about Jose Mourinho now, who we gave an 8 to. Jose's first North London derby. Everyone knows Jose likes to throw a curveball into like the selection and the tactics and what have you. But when you actually look at it in big games so far for Spurs, you look at the Man U game, the Chelsea game, the Man City game, even though we won it, it hasn't had that kind of Jose Mourinho feel to the game where he throws like this weird curveball and it's like you throw out some tactics which no one is expecting at all. But this game was completely different, as nobody expected Spurs to play 4-4-2, and how it worked, because the masterclass was putting Sissoko and Moura on the wings, because if we didn't do that, Arsenal fullbacks would have had the free roam to go down the flanks. Would have got down past Aurier easily. Ben Davies, he's sometimes suspect defensively. So I think the masterclass was really playing Sissoko and Moura on the wings and playing 2 up top as well, because Sonny and Kane against their back 3 should have been a no-brainer, really, because, those 2 against that 3, as I said before, forces them into mistakes. Albeit, I do think that he left it a bit too late to make some changes. I think we were calling for changes a bit earlier because you saw the Tottenham team were weltering away and tiring. But apart from that, I thought it was spot on from Jose, really.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. As you say, we were all calling for a change of formation, a change of style before the game. I thought he definitely brought that to the table. I think he understood the derby. He definitely understands what it means. He hates. He doesn't. He has a great record against Arsenal. He doesn't want to let that up. And throughout his management, he's always had the better of Arsenal. So I think he kind of knows how to play against them. And we didn't let them play their stuff. I think the 4-4-2 formation, as you say, putting Son up top with Kane was a definite positive. It was definitely better for Sonny as well. And I think, especially I think the tactic was in the early parts of the game to use a lot of energy, then sit deep and look for a counter attack or look for a long ball. And I think for the most part, it worked, albeit I feel in the second half, for about a 15-minute spell, I think we were dominated a bit too much for my liking, and we gave Arsenal a bit too much encouragement. But I think after the drinks break, we got back on it. I think we got a bit of energy back, and then I think from the latter part of the game, we could have won 3 or 4-1 at the end if we would have taken our chances in the end. So although we rode our luck, I think Jose Mourinho did a tactical masterclass on Arteta yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. I think Arteta definitely got Mourinho'd yesterday. And I would like to say in the first half, it was so great to see us actually get the ball on the ground and actually play some football for once. You know what I mean? Like for the first time since the restart, we've actually just played some football. And it was just so good to see.
We're playing nice, fast football, free flow, one touch, looking for attacks, and we were shooting on sight really whenever we got anywhere near the goal. And I think the tactic was to try and get a goal as early as possible, and then sit back. Unfortunately, we conceded, so when we did get that goal, it was 1-1. But I think we couldn't have really played it any other way, seeing as Arsenal were always going to have more energy than us. They had 48 hours more of a rest. And I think that he played it to perfection. He did the best he could with the cards that he was dealt with, and thanks to him, we come home with all 3 points. I think.
Definitely. Well, there you have it. That is our player ratings: 2-1 against the scum at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Like, subscribe, and comment. I say it again: 2-1 against the scum at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That is your player ratings. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.